Welcome to Heaven on Earth, where we try to live the law of love in unity, peace, health, wealth, opportunity, and abundance for all. Today we're talking about suicide and suicidal personalities. People who don't want to be here and every day think about or wish about the ending of their existence. Many of us wake up in pain. These bodies are hot, they're heavy, they're stinky, they're hairy, and they feel completely out of alignment. The whole earth, the societies on it, we think a lot of humans are basically very unevolved beings, and we go through every day feeling like this world is torture. Many of us feel like, this ride sucks, I want off. And we're criticized for wanting off the ride that's no fun. It feels so out of alignment and so hard and frustrating. We get to a point sometimes where our heart, our spirit, our mind is broken. We feel like we can't go on. There's no more reason. And no matter what we do, nothing is ever going to get better. These are all pieces and parts of what is considered a suicidal personality. Some of the psychologists use a term called suicidal ideology. I can share that I am one of these, and I have had these thoughts, and I've been hospitalized more than once for trying to take my life. So I am not just speaking as a psychologist and from knowledge, but from my own personal life and experience. I had a doctor that said, well, if you just stop thinking about those things, it'll go away. No, because you wake up every day in pain. This world and everything in it, the whole structure of our society is painful to you. You came from a world, many of us, where we didn't have money. Every baby born was provided for. Every baby born had roof, shelter, food, clothing, and all the care and education they needed. And on top of that, every child was raised to create their maximum potential of whatever they're supposed to be. Some children have less advantage, and they are only going to be so much, and some children have more. And that society, that world developed that to its maximum potential, not based on money, not based on a game of money and survival where the top 20% have 85% of the wealth, but on a world based on everyone living to their maximum potential, because money wasn't part of the equation. If you loved math and science, then that's the area you win. If you loved art and writing, that's the area you win. Everyone assisted in all the survival requirements of the society. In different worlds it was different, but in one world everybody went out and blessed the fields. Everyone helped create the possibility of food. Everyone helped clean and keep the world clean. We all helped take out the trash. We all helped do all the requirements of life. And the people that loved to build houses got to build houses. And the people that loved to do whatever they love to do. And what we learned on those worlds is that God creates a balanced society where there's lots of people that love to do everything and find joy doing it and bringing it to the world in a beautiful way. And when that is the goal of every single life on the planet, to make more beauty and more wonderful world for everyone, and everyone's thriving, you come to a world like this one where you have to try to survive in an economic environment in a lot of places that's not always made for everyone to thrive and survive. As a planet, the top 20% has 85% of the planetary resources. In the United States, it's even worse. The top 20% have 85, 86 or more percent of the money, wealth, and resources, land, buildings, corporations that own everything. They are not creating an economic system that's getting better, and that more of us are sharing the wealth, but actually getting more restrictive. So if you feel like you're really struggling in an economic system that doesn't help you thrive, you're right. A lot of us suicidal personalities and people that want to die, it's because this world doesn't work for everyone. And a lot of us came from worlds and societies where it did, where we didn't have to struggle to survive and feed our families. We were provided for out of the wealth of the world, and we then contributed to the wealth of the world so that everyone else can be provided for. Being energetically out of alignment, there's a little piece of information I want to share with you here. In the 1900s, right around the turn of the century, 1900, there were about 2 billion consciousnesses on this planet. Less than 100 years later, thereabouts, 100 years later, we have almost 8 billion. I think we've just passed 8 billion. People don't realize some of the immortal souls being born into human avatars on the planet Earth right now haven't always been on Earth. You're new to Earth. You're a visitor here. And that's why this world and these bodies feel so funky and out of alignment with you. Some of you have come from more evolved worlds and societies to Earth to help us, to help this planet and her population evolve. There's nothing wrong with you. Earthlings don't want to hear this, but Earth vibrationally, the societies and the thinking of this world is considered a slum in the universe among educated and intelligent populations. That we're still fighting over our resources, balancing the world so unfairly economically, is signs of lack of understanding and intelligence. And just lack of understanding and intelligence. I mean, we're considered children, 2 and 3-year-olds who can barely not blow ourselves up. Just FYI, if you think humans are unevolved and our societies are unevolved, welcome to the club. That's actually why you chose to come here to help us, because we're idiots. And I say that as someone that's been on this planet for roughly around 10,000, 12,000 years. Yeah, it's a slow evolution. On this planet, there's a lot of slavery. We're still enslaving each other. Sexual abuse, emotional abuse. There's a reason you feel out of alignment with this world, because this world is out of alignment with what is healthy and good for everyone on it. And you have come from more evolved places to this backwater slum to help us. So please don't kill yourself. Pull up your boots so you can slog through the mud. Put on your gloves. Pick up a mop or some sponges and help clean the place up. There's a lot of us that feel like we want to die. We want off the ride. But here's the bad news. If you kill yourself now, and we don't save this timeline, the planet, and we don't rise into the light, what you come back to is a worse mess. You don't want to make things worse. The world is already effed up. Part of the reason you want to kill yourself is because it's just the only way you feel like you can actually survive is to get out of these bodies. Because inside you know you're immortal and that this is unnatural for you. And that's why you want off the ride, because it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right, and you feel like the whole world is effed up. And there's no point to any of it. I know, I feel that way a lot. So, we have to remember we are immortal light beings having a temporal, mortal experience. Temporal, being temporary, being something that ends, being unlimited. You're not stuck in that body forever, okay? There is evolution off this planet back to better worlds, and Many of us came here because Earth is ready to rise into the light and become a higher, more evolved, beautiful world, living in peace and harmony. And we came here to help everybody. And so we have to remember, we actually have a very short time here compared to the millions of years that we can spend in the temporal. And that this one life, we can choose to shine our light and do the best we can and make the world the best place we can while we're here. Use this light to make the world a better place. How? You're homeless, you have nothing, you don't even know where your next meal is going to come from. I get it. But the pathway to heaven, the gold, the treasures of heaven are truly the joy and the love that we care and we share with each other. So smile at someone, make their day brighter, lift up a friend, give someone a hug, share your light and your love with someone, and help make the world a better place. There's a poem about a boy who was going to the problem pile because he had a bent foot and he couldn't walk right. And by the time he got to the problem pile where you could throw your problems in, take someone else's out, he realized, wow, maybe my problems aren't that bad. Maybe there's ways to fix what I've got. And by the law of polarity, that states for any one thing to exist, the opposite also must exist. And so for a problem to exist, the answer must always exist. And so if we look into our hearts, we remember we are immortal beings and that we are more evolved than this planet and that we are here to help the planet and all the people we think are not enlightened to become more enlightened and to remember that we are immortal souls, that the wealth and the treasures of heaven are not money, but the good deeds and the joy and the love we share with one another. This has been your messages from heaven today, and I love you all. Quantum hugs and kisses from heaven. Okay, you are loved and beloved more than we can ever understand. And even when it doesn't look like it, that which created us and all of heaven are here, holding our hands, standing by us, encouraging us, telling us we can make it another day. I love you. Have a beautiful day dancing on this magical planet. 3 things you can do right now to help create heaven on earth. Like this video. It helps the algorithms share it with more people. Subscribe to this channel and share these messages with someone you know who could use some more hope, love, peace in their hearts, and would like to experience a little heaven on earth today.